And we're back for the third game of Group G from Open Tour Benelux today, the second day. My name is still Bobo Joe, Bobo Check. We're Hype Shoutcasting. And it is do or die for 7 a.m. Academy here. Tell me why, Bobo Check.
Because if they lose, they die.
No, stick to the script, man.
Sorry. Hold on. Script real quick. If they lose, they are done for the day. There it is.
Exactly.
Now, so if 7 a.m. loses this one, then it's over for them for the Open Tour Qualifiers second weekend. As they're 1-1 now. Of course, expecting Moosh to beat the Northern Lions. But if Connecting Esports in that case beats 7 a.m, then Moosh goes 2-1, Connecting goes 3-0, and 7 a.m goes 1-2, kicking them out of the Open Tour. So they're gonna have to win this one to stay in. If they do win, and Moosh wins as well, then I think we have a three-way tiebreak. I'm not 100% sure how exactly it works then. But then we're in for a long run.
Then we're in for a treat.
We're in for a treat, boys.
But we'll see how that goes. Of course, small recap, Connecting Esports was supposed to be on paper the third team in this bracket, just looking at their performance from last week. But now they're 2-0. They haven't been beaten yet. They've beaten Moosh Gaming, who beat 7 a.m. in the last game. So we're not sure how we need to feel about this one. It's definitely gonna be a hard game. The morale for Connecting Esports must be out of the roof. They are winning today. And 7 a.m, the pressure is on. They need to do it this time around, and they need to do it now. That being said, I think we are almost ready to go into the draft for this last game.
I feel like we are indeed ready to go into the draft for the last game. I think both teams are ready to go. It looks like Connecting is ready to go. It looks like 7M is ready to go. We're ready to go. So we should start seeing the draft coming through soon. 28 seconds countdown timer has begun. 7 a.m. starts with the banning in this game here. Let's see what they take away. On the side of Connecting Esports, we have things like Seraphine, which gets played in the mid lane by Zorka, something they don't want to face. Strith in the top lane has Gnar, has Set as really two main champions. So if they would potentially ban those two, it's going to be a bit more difficult for Strith or Strive to actually be able to pick something up that's going to have an impact. But it doesn't look like they're going to do it immediately. Nocturne taken away from Xiao Piao. And then Xin and Lee Sin, of course, both taken away. As Viego is the last ban for 7 a.m. here.
Yeah, it's really good that they take away the Nocturne, because they can play Nocturne Twisted Fate, which is a notoriously hard team to play against just because of the global pressure that they can have. And they take away the Nocturne just because it's such a flexible pick in the jungle and in the solo lanes these days. Akali is gonna be banned away, of course. 7M first picking that one all day long today, and Connecting Esports, they recognize that that's not the pick they want to play against. Also, shout out to the person that made this draft lol, because it's Connessione Esports here in the top, and I just love that.
Connessione. Akali is taken away, so they're not going to see that on the side of 7 a.m. Ezreal being picked up as their first pick this time around, as of course the Akali was banned. Now Connessione has to come in with their first pick. They do have some special stuff going on. They have things like the Twisted Fate and the Nocturne, which can be combined. Of course, Nocturne has been banned, so that's not going to be picked up here today. They have the off-meta Swain in the bottom lane. Tristana being hovered here, can be played mid and AD, so that's a flex pick, of course, by Connecting Esports.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned this Tristana being able to flex towards the mid lane because of that Swain that you just said. It gives them the room to play AD threats in top, jungle and mid, while still having that AP threat in the bot lane, which is of course a strength that I feel like not enough teams have. We see it typically in the Belgian league from KV Mechelen, who always put Sliver there on an AP threat. And yeah, if you can do that in these sort of games, you have more room to swap champions around and to see what matchups you want to face here. The Volibear being picked up again, we've seen it a few times already today, and just general a really tanky, strong pick for them, especially in combination with that Karma.
And the Karma gets picked with a Volibear, as you said, which is going to be combined really well. We saw Ezreal Karma being played against 7am in the previous game by Moosh. That's still the funnest name in the game. And Thresh Tristana in the bottom lane. Tristana is still the flex pick. It takes Thresh away from Shroom. Sorry, it doesn't take Thresh away from Shroom. It takes Thresh away from Adamid, of course. We've seen him played before. Now the next banning phase coming in. Shen, they don't want to see that in the top lane. Despite Elijah being down in his lane, he still played really well on the Shen, I feel. Just couldn't completely compete with the Darius, as Victor is taken away. Still a lot of mid laners open for Zorka here, so maybe a bit strange to ban mid laners. He has Twisted Fate and Nivea, he has Orianna, he can even go for the Tristana, which has been picked up already. There's a lot of options for Zorka still here, but they do decide on taking away Victor, as Connection goes for the Sylas and the Shen ban in this second banning round.
Yeah, I do see that Lucian is still open if 7M would love that to go to Flyknit here. Of course, he has been playing nothing but Akali, so he might be able to show something else here today. And when
maybe
you have
Kassadin?
Maybe Kassadin, but against the Tristana mid, I feel like that is a really hard one to go to in the lane, while Lucian, he does fairly well. He does the same thing as Tristana. He just bullies the enemy laner if you do not have auto attacks to trade, so I feel like that could be an answer here, or something that can be very safe to knock Tristana back when she jumps in, like a Syndra or something like that. That tends to do okay in this hard mid lane matchup if he goes mid lane, because they really keep that flex on very long on the side of Connecting Esports.
Yeah, they still don't know whether the Tristana is going to go towards the mid lane or towards the bottom lane. Of course, Gwen being hovered here by 7am. Haven't seen her too often yet. However, it is a champion that is very strong at this point. It does get locked in here by 7am. Probably going towards Elijah, as Volibear has been picked up already. We saw Obi play Volibear in the jungle earlier today. So I am assuming that the bear is going to go towards the jungle and Gwen towards top. However, it could be turned around. And as you said, Lucian is open. It is looking like 7am is going to pick that up with 5 more seconds. Yes, they do lock it in. Now it's up to Connecting Esports to see what they want to do with this Lucian mid pick. Do they want to put Tristana against it, or are they going to go for something else?
Yeah, of course, as I said, they do the same thing. Tristana, Lucian, they really bully the other laner. So are they going to let them face each other, or do they want to combine something else with
maybe the Swain bottom now?
Here? Yeah, Swain is definitely an option because, as you said, it is almost full AD. This would make a problem for Volibear, but they do go for the Syndra. Still possible to play this in the bot lane as well. We do not know if it's gonna be Zorka or Excellence playing the Syndra here. So we'll have to wait for the remake in the client to really know where these laners are gonna go. But yeah, Gwen being picked up by 7M. Looks like they are using the big guns for this final match.
Big guns, Gwen, Lucian, things we haven't really seen 7am play before. Have we seen them play Gwen last week? Did we see them last week?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we've seen Elijah go for the Gwen pick last week, as they are doing a redraft, of course, in the client right now. Both drafts have been ready, and I really like the fact that Connecting Esports took very long to wait with where the Tristana was going. But then again, Lucian mid is very strong against classical mid laners, let's call it that way. Let's call it that. And is, does fairly well against Tristana as well. So the fact that Connecting Esports was waiting with the Tristana and 7am just said, you know what, we'll just pick Lucian because it's fine into Tristana and it's good against probably a lot of other mid laners. Let's just do that. We have quite some AP with the Karma and the Gwen already. Let's do it.
It's gonna be heavy. We I think we've seen this matchup already, the Wukong-Gwen matchup. And Gwen tends to do really well. Because, I mean...
Just in general or in...
yeah, in general, and it makes this every matchup that has to come in the range hard, because Gwen just heals too much. When she has the Rift Maker, if you send more people, she will just heal more, because basically everything she does is AoE. And if you go alone, yeah, in the 1v1 she's super strong as well. So we'll see if Elijah has been able to get some practice on this champion already, because yeah, in my opinion, it's one of the most ban-worthy champions right now, equal to Akali maybe. But I feel like since people still don't really know how Gwen works, she might be even worse.
Might be a bit worse. I'm not 100% sure. As I said last week, and this week it's still the same. I haven't really played League in quite a while, let alone play a matchup in top lane, which is the lane I despise the most. Of course, fits well with you because you like top lane.
I think we saw Gwen last week around when
so,
Elijah
yeah.
played Cho'Gath. Is that correct? And he actually won.
I think Cho won then, because you said you
My
would
Cho is
pick Cho
bad,
into
and I
Gwen.
lost,
Yes,
and he
there it
won.
is.
So
yeah, that's exactly what
the painful
happened.
memories are coming back.
Oh, the memories. No, they're not painful at all. They are glorious. They are the bestest.
No, don't say it.
Leave me alone.
That being said, this lineup from 7am, they have the double 80 threat, the carries. They have Obi that basically need to solo frontline everything, which is gonna be, I feel, pretty much impossible since the enemy has a Trundle. I mean, he's gonna go full armor and everything, and Trundle's gonna say, it's mine.
But the swap, the last second swap, Obi picking up the Gwen, Elijah picking up the bear. Ooh, the last second switcheroo, right up to 15 seconds before the game starts. 7am, bringing in the mind games.
And
going for the, we already played Volibear jungle, we'll do it again. No, we're not. Badoosh.
that makes me think, maybe Elijah knows that Gwen into Wukong might not be as favorable as I would think. Maybe Wukong has just that early all-in potential that is enough to threaten Gwen. Or he feels like, I can beat this guy even harder with Volibear, because Volibear, he trades pretty nasty in the top lane. You just need to hit one Sky Splitter and you're fine. You're fine for the lane, it's over, he's half-life, he doesn't have sustain, he's a Wukong. And I'm a big angry Thunder Bear who's gonna poke you just by slapping some minions.
I'm a big booty, you know the rest.
Bear.
Big booty bear. That's exactly what was coming.
Exactly.
Both teams have finished their comp, of course. They are loading into the Rift as we speak. We still have another 2 minutes of the delay coming through. As you said before, do or die for 7am. They need to take the win here. If they don't take the win, they go 1 and 2. If Moosh wins, they go through together with connecting Esports in that case.
Yeah.
Of course, if 7am loses and Moosh also loses to Northern Lions, then there's 3 teams who go 1 and 2, and then there's another type of tiebreaker.
I do think that we need to assume that Moosh is gonna win against Northern Lions. If we saw the 2 games that we played here on the channel, 7am against them, then there was a clear difference between how these teams played. But of course, connecting Esports really, I can say, clapped. Clapped Moosh Gaming in their game. We didn't see it. We don't know how they did it. Is it with the same champion? Is it not? I don't know. If someone knows in the chat, let us know. But it is very worrying that they won that so easily against that team. But we'll have to see. Gwen is here. Gwen is so strong. We've seen her 1v4, 1v5 people. It's insane. But there are tools to counter her here. I feel like if Tristana gets ahead, she can just jump on her and stay inside the circle without being threatened that much. You have the Wukong who can go out of control. There are a lot of options, a lot of threats. I just feel like 7am's frontline is gonna struggle here, and that might be a big
an issue.
loss condition for them, let's say.
It's going to be difficult to reach the back line of Connecting Esports. They can, of course, rush in and jump in with a volley bear. Then again, once he ults in, Tristana can knock him away. Syndra has the knockback as well on Scatter the Weak, has the stun. Once that's used, Volibear has no real way to get back into the backline of Team Connecting Esports. And if Trundle then ults the Volibear as well, he's going to go down really, really quickly once Tristana gets going with 2-3 items as of 25-30 minutes into the game. I feel like 7am might have a little bit more of a difficult game here. Of course, Ezreal into the late game is really strong as well. However, Tristana into the late game, we've seen her like 2-3 shot people in several games as well. So 7am could, of course, take this one down. They have the poke in the bottom lane. They can bully away the Tristana, the Thresh. We'll have to see if they're able to come back and fight here against Connecting Esports, or if Connecting Esports goes 3-0 today in group phase, which would be pretty crazy as well, as they went 1-2 last week. That would be a very, very crazy switch of kind of swap of cards. Switcheroni. Take over.
I'll take over from you as we are flying into the Rift for potentially the last game for 7am today.
But of course.
And while I'm trying to hype up this game, we get slapped in the face by a pause, which is just a nice review towards my life.
A little bit of a review. This is super sad what just happened, but you know, let's just breeze past it. The game has been paused, as you can all see, of course. However, it has been paused in the base, so it doesn't really matter. We all know where both teams start, namely in the fountain.
Yeah, but he stands a little bit in front of the other, so it feels like they're gonna do this strat.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Ooh, they're gonna find that exactly. Top lane on the side of Team 7am, I believe, has a little bit of a disconnect issue, so Elijah needs to come into this one. It looks like they're ready, however. He is back into the game, and both teams are ready to go in. Of course, the client, once again, with a little bit of a freeze move. Classic.
This is ideal.
Right. This is perfect.
This is perfect. This is what I wanted.
This is taking really long, this freeze.
All I ever wanted.
All I ever need is...
Gonna transition away from the game. You know, our faces might not be as good as the champions, but we don't freeze, so you can trust us.
Ooh, should we try the freeze move now? Oh, it's unfrozen. The moment our faces get in, it unfreezes. Riot knows. They're watching. I swear they're watching.
It is what it is. Let's try this again. Round 2. This is the third game of today's open tour between 7am and Connecting Gaming. This is the do or die for 7am. If they lose this, then there is a great risk of them being eliminated from this second qualifier.
What was this Lucian spazzing out in the bush there? Such a strange... Ooh, we do have an invade here by Connecting Esports. This could be really dangerous. They put the ward down. 7am knows they're there. Connecting knows they're there. They decide to just take down the ward. And Connecting Esports not going to continue here. They're just going to decide to back off. And the invade cancels really quickly. Ooh, 7am still pinging. They still expect someone from Connecting Esports to maybe be there. As Sono is standing way back. And then there's Yumi. Oh my god, the Yumi emotes, please. Don't do it.
And Xiao Bao, very smart with the ward over the wall. Not being able to collapse on. And you can see that 7am Academy did their homework. That Connecting Esports likes those early invades. They prepared for it. They were all in the brush there. But yeah, no one gets catched early on. It's still 0-0 and everyone just goes to the lanes as planned. Obi starting with the red buff. Xiao Bao starting with the blue. They will likely meet each other at the scuttle on top side.
And that's of course always an interesting one. If they do decide to start on the same side of the map, then they're gonna start battling out at the first scuttle there is. In this case, it's gonna be in the top side. And here, instantly in the mid lane, we see the power of Lucian mid against these mages. He can just basically outdamage them with his auto attacks. as of course Syndra's auto attack's not going to do as much damage as Lucian's in the beginning. However, Lucian doesn't start with a Dorn's Blade or a Longsword, he starts actually with a Corrupting Potion as the hook lands instantly. Exhaust is going to come through, is it going to be enough first blood? Yes it is for Connecting Esports.
When this is a rookie mistake, you know that they're gonna level first, and there is a threat. The Mentalist hits the hook when it counts and he gets the kill for his AD carry. Or no, he picks it up himself with the Ignite, so this is something that you can say it's not too bad, but still 400 gold on the Thresh. I've seen many games where Thresh just does more damage than his AD carry, so not sure if this is what you want.
And it's really important to note as well that the Thresh hook lands, he flies in with the Ignite instantly. Normal, logical, as you said, rookie mistake, maybe by Team 7am. You know they're going to hit level 2, you shouldn't get hooked there. But the exhaust from Sono was used, the flash from Karma was used, and now a great little roam here by the Mentalist. But it's not going to be enough, and now Flyknit, they take out his flash as well. Really nice play by Connecting Esports early on here.
This is a nice movement from the Mentalist. He not only goes towards the mid lane for a gank, gets the flash of the mid laner, but he was also instantly moving towards the top side to make sure that his jungler could secure the scuttle. So at the moment he is fishing for that MVP, really putting the pressure on in this game.
3 minutes into the game,
yeah,
already fishing.
He's hook fishing for it. It's crazy. But yeah, that being said, I wanted to touch upon the matchup in the mid lane as well. I said in draft, Syndra does okay against Lucian because he can trade effectively. He can, with the range that Syndra has, he can trade back. And if Lucian dashes, there is just the Scatter the Weak that can go onto him. Lucian will be able to be really impactful against Syndra once he has the Gale Force to reposition himself in the right way. But that is not right now. So you see the Scatter the Weak coming through the trade. Fairly even, but Lucian has the biscuits. So it's gonna sustain a little bit more as well with the heal.
The biscuits from Lucian, and look at this in the top lane. Xiao Pao is there, and of course the Mentalist is there as well. He finds the roam. Eliza's not going to be able to survive this one. They take him down. He was bullying Stride's Wukong, but then the roam, the gank. Wow, Connecting Esports, very proactive in this early game.
Yeah, Elijah didn't have any vision in the river as well. Not able to spot that one out, so of course. You gotta respect it, you gotta know that the threat is there, especially with the Mentalist roaming to bot side. It was possible going top, but of course it is more well played from him than a bad play from Elijah here. Again, pressure on the mid lane. All the wards are being cleared. Very hard for Flyknit to play aggressive here with all this threat around his lane. Not gonna be able to take the advantage of this pick that he would have wanted likely.
And the Mentalist roaming around, leaving Tristana in the bottom lane on her own. But it does pull Karma away from the bottom lane as well, because they can't just let Thresh keep roaming the way he is without sending any help and without really doing anything in the bottom lane. Golden Excellence on this Tristana. He's gonna be really safe as well because of the rocket jump, of course. And once he has his Buster Shot as well, he's gonna be even more safe on his own in the bottom lane. So they do have to use the Karma, to kind of match the roams from Thresh at this point.
I'm not sure if they are going to do that because pressure is on the side of Connecting Esports. I feel like Xiao Pao has more room to move as well. Obi not being able to do anything thus far. Maybe he's just trying to power farm. Make sure that he gets those early items and level 6 for the place. And now the Mentalist mid yet again finds Flyknit, the lantern comes out.
Insane death sentence, finds the hook on Aramed. Scatter the Weak is gonna come through to put Aramed into his place. Golden Excellence jumping over. Looking for Flyknit, not gonna be enough though. And another great hook by the Mentalist. He keeps fishing, he keeps hooking for the MVP here. Thought they would have gone for Drake here. Seems like they're just gonna go towards the bottom lane and push Ezreal back out of the bottom lane.
So this is starting to become a scary situation because there is also, already a gold lead from over 1k for the side of Connecting Esports. They are picking up the first dragon and they're 3-0. I mean, this is the match that 7am must win. if they want to go through. If they don't win, they just need to hope that Mush Esports loses against Northern Lions. Then they still have hope for this. But of course, the game is not lost yet. There is just a very strong early game from this Connecting Esports support, the Mentalist.
Yeah, we kind of saw the same thing in their first game for Team 7M today against Northern Lions, where they went down 3 kills very early on in the top side of the river. And they managed to completely turn that game around as well. Rocket Jump needs to be used here in the bottom lane. Golden Excellence jumping out of that one. Now Stride might be in a lot of trouble here. However, he manages to juke the shield. And he uses Cyclone to get out of that one. He's not going to be able to fight the Volibear for a lot longer. Because, of course, Volibear still has the Stormbringer up.
It's a scary amount of health that he gains then when he can use that ultimate. So Stride, he recognizes it, he knows I'm not gonna try to fancy use my second active on the ultimate, just gonna get away, make sure that there is no danger, and of course, the Mentalist was there again to assist if Elijah would have gone for it. And look at this, they just stacking the balls as well. Elijah, do you think he knew? Do you think he knew that they were there? No one was pinging? I feel like that was...
I don't think so. I think he probably knew that the Mentalist was there and thought maybe they were going for a little bit of an invade into their blue side jungle, so was just going to check. And of course the Mentalist once again in the mid lane, finding a hook here on Flyknit, manages to just dash out this time around. And once again roaming towards top lane this time. Jump here from Tristana onto Sono. So much damage is going to come through. He's going to use the flash to find the kill. Not quite. Exhaust still up on Ezreal. Doesn't really want to waste that. That's the exhaust gonna come through. Doesn't have the rocket jump anymore. Both mid carries just battling it out here, going really low. Ezreal needs to get out of this one, I think.
Both of them didn't want to pull the trigger. They didn't want to use too much to escape.
Wow, Scatter the Weak.
It's not done yet.
Through great juke there by Stride. Is it going to be enough to take down Elijah? It's not going to be enough. He goes out. He gets out, sorry. With a very low HP, Scatter the Weak gonna go wide. Zorka doing a lot of damage, and at this point, Adamed, he's level 3. While the Mentalist is level 5. He needs to match the roams, but he's always just too late. He can't follow.
I was gonna say, did you have the same bug? Because I feel like Adamed just disappeared on my screen. But as you said, his levels are in existence. I mean, he's so far behind. He wants to do what he must do. He buys the wards for his team, but that is just what he is. He's a living ward bot who has a very weak shield and a speed up, I guess, but he needs to get some levels in. You need to recognize that you are also a champion at some point and stand next to the wave to get it. Even Sono, who is being left alone to farm a lot, is behind on Golden Excellence just because the Mentalist also constantly away, constantly everywhere on the map, keeps roaming, and it is so much pressure on 7M, also Elijah. Yeah, not being able to do what he must do there. He is strong in the lane, but there is always more people there.
I feel like if 7am keeps playing the way they are and keeps just using Carmen to walk around the map and follow Thresh basically, always a fraction too late, it might turn sour for them. What does 7am do here to actually make sure they can try and shrink this lead? Because at this point 2.5k gold, we're 10 minutes into the game, and there's 2.5k gold lead for Connecting Esports already.
It's a hard team to engage upon on the side of Connecting Esports. They do have the Wukong Cyclone, they have the Thresh who has so much utility, and the Syndra. If you walk on her, she just scared the weak Su, and she's very strong at the moment. She has 2 kills, and if she gets that Mythic, she's gonna spike a lot in that Mythic. So with 280 carries that don't have much than auto attack range, it's very hard to threat her. They must try and engage. And this is the tricky part. Elijah must do it. We spoke of this. He is the only frontliner in the team. Doesn't get really much help. So what's left? You have a Gwen, who is really strong, and Flyknit must run for his life.
Oh, he does the fancy footwork. He brings out the jukes. Scatter Weak is going to come through. Flash from Mentalist. A bit of an overkill, as the Unleashed Power was there as well. Zorka not going to pick up that one. It is going to be Thresh eventually. Find that one. Golden Excellence.
They're going to play on the top now.
Over. They're gonna start playing on the top, but the teleport is gonna come through. That's Zorka helping out his top laner. 2-shot barrage is flying towards the top lane as well. Adamed, you're level 5. You're not gonna beat the level 9 Tristana. There's so much proactiveness from this connecting esports squad. Gwen, you're in trouble. Yes, you are. Ooh, no, he's gonna get out. It looks like he's gonna get out. Maybe the hook is gonna come through. They have no idea. That's hilarious. that's the best thing I've seen all day.
Bamboozled. You can see that there are some sneaky moves on the side of 7am. They get out, but they need to do something because it's 5-0 in favor for connecting esports here. 4.5k gold lead for them. They're playing a solid early game, not being caught out anywhere. And Adam Met talked about it.
I don't know.
Trying to do something here.
Tried. He finds another dash, and now the Volibear is going to use his Stormbringer. He misses. No, he hits the turret, but he misses the Wukong. Finds the kill eventually, though. And that's a 1-for-1 trade. I don't think Strive was able to take a lot more out of that one. And the funny thing is, most of the time you say you're going to get dove, stay around your turret. Against Volibear, doesn't really matter because he's just gonna disable your turret. Great hook there by the Mentalist. He has no more ult.
Oh, he gets
one. 1-for-1 trade, however. Good job by Elijah finding the trade kill.
He finds the
what
top.
A hook.
He finds the top player of connecting esports. The Mentalist is down. That means that 7am can rest a little bit on the map for a while, since he is just everywhere with those hooks. But yeah, 7am. Trying to answer, getting some trades in, and you know, when you're 0-5, going 2-7 is good. This means that you're staying equal and that the lead isn't extending. So it's good that 7am is getting a foothold here on the map. I'm just waiting for Obi to get into action because there is a lot of pressure on all the lanes and he's not able to relieve that pressure on other sides. He tried to do it on top lane, but a well-used TP by Zorka prevents it, and yeah, that's the problem here. You have a strong champion, but you're not able to use it at this point. So I'm waiting for that. Maybe he'll pop off with it because he had so much time to free farm. But as you can see, between him and Trundle, the deficit is not so great.
Yeah, 4.6k gold on the Gwen, 4.8, 4.9 almost on Trundle. So the difference is, as you said, not really big. It's 250, maybe 300 gold. Another hook lands here. This time it's on Obi. Not gonna continue, or follow up on that one. As you said, both junglers going relatively even. Of course, there's 3 assists on the side of Trundle, and once again, Trundle is there just to ult Elijah when he jumps in, and he's gonna go down relatively quickly eventually against the Syndra and the Tristana. And of course, if the Syndra gets ahead and Tristana, what do you build as a tank? Do you go armor first? Do you go MR first?
You could go health. Health is good against everything. They do not have percent health abilities, so against these lineups you could just say, I'm gonna stack health and go for bruiser items, so I'm a threat as well. Since stacking those resistances doesn't really matter against the Trundle anyway. So I feel like that's the way to go for Elijah at this point, build-wise. But you can see that he's struggling. He doesn't have his mythic yet, like his counterpart. He's been playing well, but he's just been focused down so hard this game. Not as bad as the previous game where he had to lane against the Darius, but still pretty bad.
Yeah, still pretty bad. And we talked about the fact that Elijah on this Volibear would be the only frontliner on the side of 7am, and that Trundle would be able to, of course, ult him. Maybe he needs to buy health. Probably not a good idea to go for armor or MR because Trundle steals that anyways. But we see him go for the Divine Sunderer. We see him go for the Ionian Boots of Lucidity and for a longsword. So this guy is going damage Volibear at this point.
Yeah,
probably Sterix Gage coming through here.
Probably Sterix. He could go Hydra as well. Not sure if that does what it has to do, since he has to be the front line that they need. He is trading well. Volibear does fine in long trades, but oh boy, this
one more dash.
The Monkey Bonky wins the 1v1.
And that's of course what you do get if you're slightly behind, or in this case, yeah, he's slightly behind the Wukong, and you go for a non-tanky build. It's gonna be so much easier for this Wukong to take down Elijah's Volibear, and that's exactly what we saw here in the bottom lane.
Well, they find the stun on Gwen, can't really do anything with it. Tower falls and the Herald might get another charge off. When we look at the gold lead, we can see a big deficit between the AD carries and the mid laner. So yeah, you know that is a problem, because those are the guys that needs to carry this game. see if they can shut them down. I'm not sure who is gonna go on the Syndra, because there is no engage on this lineup for 7am. They have Volibear, but he has to run, and one Scatter the Weak is enough to stop him. So not sure if they have what it takes. Poke is something that could work. I'm not sure if they get the time. Meanwhile, Obi getting the lap stun.
Ooh, he was in a world of hurt here. He uses the "you can't hit me" move, but alas for him, they could very well hit him.
They could and they did.
They could and they did. And this is going to be Drake number 3 for Connecting Esports. It's going to be a Cloud Rift, by the way. So if they do manage to pick up this Drake, which they will, uncontested, and they are already on Soul Point. 18 minutes into the game, they are on on Ocean Soul Point. Team 7am. It's do or die, guys.
And they're leaning towards the die at the moment with the 7k gold deficit. If the Ocean Soul falls in the hands of Connecting Esports, it's a very slim chance that they get back. They really need to group up, make sure that they have a strat to contest this. A pick is their biggest chance, but that means that Connecting Esports needs to make a mistake, needs to stand where they shouldn't, and that's something that they haven't really done this game yet. They're playing solid across the map. They are always there to cover each other, and yeah, they've only lost 2 people yet, and that was in a fight where the trade was at least even. They never really lost someone where the favor was purely for 7am, so that is a solid performance, and I would love to see the matches that they played last week, to see how they went third in a group when they show us something like this.
Yeah, I have. That's what That's what I meant before when Moosh beat 7am in the previous game, in in pretty convincing fashion. And then you see Connecting Esports beating Moosh in 17 minutes in their first game of the day. I was wondering, how strong is this Connecting Esports going to be? Maybe it was a fluke, maybe they got lucky, maybe Moosh did something weird or disconnected or whatever. But at this point, as you said, Connecting Esports is looking really, really strong.
Yeah, but of course we have been past the 70-minute mark, so I mean, 7am Academy doing better than Moosh.
True.
So we gotta look at the positives here, guys. It's still possible. They have a lot of damage scaling in the late game. That is what they have. They lack frontline, we've spoken about it, that's fine, but they have damage. I can see a moment where Flyknit can use the culling to wreck someone and Sono can finish it with a Mystic Shot or an ult. That is a possibility later on in the game where they have just that massive oppressive damage that pushes the whole squad back. But I have to see it, because you can see the pace that Connecting Esports is playing at. It's lightning fast. Baron has spawned and they're already at it. Half HP, crucial barrage coming through, but it's gonna be too little, too late, as Connecting Esports picks up the first Baron of the game.
And what you said is 100% correct. The pace that Connecting Esports is playing with this game is insane. Mentalist with the hook just goes wide.
Barely.
The pace Connecting Esports is using this game, or is putting out this game, is ridiculous. They're not giving 7am any breathing room whatsoever. Scatter the Weak in the mid lane, and a great lantern there to get out of that as well. Connecting Esports, I hadn't seen them play before. I wasn't expecting all too much, but at this point, I mean, they're doing good.
Yeah, you can see they're not getting caught off guard. 7am is trying to do some proactive plays, but yeah, their position is just impeccable this game. They're not getting caught out. They are pushing on all sides. They're waiting for the Wukong to close in, to put pressure there, and then they're gonna try to drown the turrets with the minions, which is just what you want to do with the Baron. We've seen it before, where 7am in the last game did collapse on one side, but they're just not letting that happen this time. They're really playing this carefully, pushing back, and they're looking at the timer for the Drake. 1 minute 20 for the big fight, for the Ocean Soul, and this is the deciding moment of the game.
This is going to be a very important moment in the game, as you said. They might find Stride, not going to be quite on time to pick him up. He puts down the ward, manages to get out of that one. Now he's going to position really aggressively, though. Look at this Wukong. Once again, the Mental is going to go in. Great flash to get out of that one. Obi is going to go in for the chase. Isn't as strong as you would want it to be maybe at this point, and now
damage.
It's way too much. Zorka going to be picking that one up. Meanwhile, Stride in the backline. Using cycle number 1, using cycle number 2, and he picks up the Lucian. It's insane. Mentalist, how do you survive this? You don't, is the answer, but it's a double kill for him. The flash from Tristana. Xiaopao is there, and now they jump into the bottom lane. The only survivor is going to be Volibear. The rest of Team 7am is taken down.
Zorka still dies.
Zorka goes down. It's going to be a shutdown eventually for Team 7am still, as Elijah battles it out against Yao Piao. Look at those heals from the Volibear. Is going to be enough, however, not at all. Now Adamed is back in the fray. Level 9 versus level 15. They're knocking on the Nexus turrets already. We're 23 minutes into the game. Tristana taking down the mid inhib. Top inhibitor has been taken down. Now they're going to start banging on this bottom inhib turret. They're going to take it down. They're probably going to leave the inhib, but the base of 7am is in shambles at this point.
They don't lose the game yet because the dead timers are really short this early in the game, but they do lose most of their base, and the Ocean Soul is going to be picked up uncontested. This rate for connecting esports. It was a fight where 7am resisted, but Obi tried to survive. You have to do this for your team.
He gets out. No, he doesn't. Cyclone number 1, cyclone number 2. They find 2, they find 3. They jump into everything. Now they go maybe a little bit too deep. No, Golden Excellence is able to use his reset. Finds a double kill for his team. Picks up the Ezreal. Flying it needs to get out of this one. Use the culling to push back Stride's Wukong. They're knocking on the base. They're knocking on the inhibitor. Team 7am, it was do or die, but it looks like it's gonna be die. They have to hope that Moosh Gaming loses their game against Northern Lions. We're not expecting them to, but you never ever know. We did not expect this from Connecting Esports at all. And now they are going to start banging onto the Nexus. Is it going to be enough? However, 7am is going to put their last stance down. Zorka hitting on the Nexus. One more auto attack is necessary. Yes, sir. Connecting Esports takes what? In our prep, we saw Connecting Esports. We saw them go 1 and 2 last week, and we thought, you know what? It's going to be the closest game for 7am, but 7am should take them down. With all due respect, this game was not close at all.
Yeah,
7am gets taken down.
They go 3-0 in the group, Connecting Esports. We put them on third. It's crazy. Well deserved by them. I mean, the level that they played in this was not a game where you say, oh, yeah, that guy was just way better than his counterpart and he snowballed out of the lane and could totally take over the game. That was not the case. They played it on a macro level really well. And again, as I said at the start, the Mentalist MVP for me on his trash. He really impacted the map. If you have to say one player impacted the game, then that is the guy. But they all just played so well. They were in the right spot. They were never out of position. They did what they had to do. And they finished this game in 24 minutes 30. Last game in 70 minutes. I mean, they really want to make this open tour as short as possible for everyone, I feel.
It's really crazy how well they've played today. I mean, they beat Moosh in 17 minutes. Moosh had 2 or 3 kills, I think, at best. 17-minute game. Moosh didn't even have the time to discuss whether or not they wanted to surrender the game. And now they do the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but they do a relatively quick game as well against Team 7am, who were looking pretty okay today. I mean, yeah, they lost to Moosh, but they had a nice little comeback against Northern Lions. Okay, arguably the easiest. Oh, it was a 17-minute FF. Okay, that's my bad then. But arguably they had against their worst opponent today. They had a little bit of a comeback, but they played that really well. As Sono said, they tried to stay calm and they played that well. Moosh Gaming was a little bit too strong. They had some flashes of hope there as well, though. But then not Northern Lions, but Connecting Esports coming in strong here today with a 3-0 in the group phase, and it's going to be interesting to see what they can do in the rest of this open tour. I'm not sure if the scores on the rest of the board have come in, but I believe Moosh Gaming and Northern Lions Esports, they're still playing. so that hasn't come in yet.
It's undecided. All the 7 a.m. fans here, they really must cheer for Northern Lions Esports that they win against Moosh Gaming, and then there is still a chance that they continue. We'll keep you guys updated while we wait for the scores, but we're gonna go for a small break. So get something to drink, maybe check out the game if someone is streaming it. I don't know,
No
but
idea.
we'll be right back with an update for you all.